Okay, welcome back to It Pays to Save, where we're going to show you some smart, simple, successful strategies for finding financial freedom. And here's where the fun begins because we're going to start this spreadsheet series. And our first spreadsheet is the Paystub Spreadsheet. So we're going to jump right in. You're going to want to open up a blank Excel spreadsheet. If you don't have Excel, you can use Google Sheets. It's a free program. And we're going to take our cursor and we're going to just start by clicking on B3. And we're going to hold down on the left mouse and drag down to 14 and drag over one column while still holding the mouse down. We're going to let go and we're going to go up to borders and we're going to go to all borders. And we'll move away from it and you can see the beginnings of our first spreadsheet. Now this is the Paystub spreadsheet, so we're just going to go up here and type that in. We'll come back and fix that up a little bit later. So every Paystub is going to be different, but they all start with a gross and a net. So we're going to type in gross up here in the top left, and we're going to type in net down here on the bottom left. You can probably see where I'm going. Unfortunately, everything in the middle here is going to be a deduction. So you have your federal taxes taken out. You have your Social Security taxes taken out. Medicare, your medical, your dental, your vision. You might have some additional life insurance. You might have some spouse life insurance. Unfortunately, you might have taken a 401k loan, and the most important one, the 401k itself. So a couple of those extend over the column width on B, so we're just going to select this here and drag it over. And for this example, we're going to say that this employee earns $50,000 a year. And if that person were to get paid twice a month, that would work out to $1,923 even. Now here's where I'm going to show you how to format a cell. You want to left click on the cell you want to format, and all of this column is going to be formatted the same. So I'm going to drag down, I'm going to let go, I'm going to right click, and then go down to format. Since we're talking dollars, I'm going to go to currency. I like the dollar symbol whenever there's a dollar figure involved. And we're going to definitely need 2 decimal points. I'm going to OK. And then we're going to look at the pay stub. And we're just going to start plugging in what your pay stub says. So the feds take out $229. Social Security is $119. Medicare is $28. Your medical is $225. Dental is $6.13. Vision is $7.47. Additional life, for this example, is $9.95. Additional spouse life insurance is $10. And we're going to say you don't have any loans taken from your 401k, which would be deducted from your paycheck. And we're going to come back to 401k because that's the most important piece of this whole spreadsheet. Now, there may be quicker ways to do this, but this is just the easiest way to teach it right now. So you're going to want to find out what the net is after all of this is subtracted. So you want to left click on the net cell, and you're going to want to hit the equal sign from your keyboard. Then you're going to go up to what your gross number is, click on that, and then click minus from your keyboard. Click on federal, minus, click on social, minus, Medicare, minus, medical, minus, dental, minus, vision, minus, additional life, minus, spousal, minus, 401k loan, minus, and 401k. Don't click minus again. You're going to want to hit enter. And that's what you'd be taking home without any 401k contribution. Now this is a great way to plan if you get the same paycheck every week, 2 weeks, every month. But if you don't, in order to plan for your upcoming bills, you're going to want to take your hours times your rate, plug it into this cell, and calculate your take-home pay. However, all of these do not remain the same. Medical, dental, vision, additional life, spousal life, 401k loan, and 401k will, but these three are going to fluctuate depending on how much money you make. So I'm just going to highlight those. Then we're going to go up to this paint can, which is the fill. And I'm just going to put a little bit of a shadow on that so we can come back to that. Now, what we need to do is find out the percentage of what your federal taxes are based on your gross earnings. And we may not get this number exactly down to the penny. But if you are hourly or your paycheck is somewhat the same from week to week, we will get pretty close. And it is a great tool for planning. So let me jump back to the PowerPoint and go over percentages. In order to find the percentage of a number, you're really looking at the part of a whole. And that's going to equal your percentage over 100. In this example, we're looking at the tax of your gross pay, what percentage that is of 100. So if your tax is 200 out of 1,000, that's an easy calculation. That's going to be 200 divided by 1,000 equals 0.2, and you times that by 100, if you remember that from grade school. It looks like this, which turns out to be 20%, pretty easy calculation. So that would mean that your federal taxes are 20% of every dollar you make. In the spreadsheet example, the federal taxes were $229 from your take-home pay of $1923. So we're trying to find out what percentage that is out of 100. So that would look like 229 divided by your gross, which is 1923, equals 0.1190847. You're going to times that by 100, which is really just moving the decimal points 2 positions to the right, and it's 11.90847%. So it's 11.9% the federal government takes out of this example of every dollar earned. So jumping back to the spreadsheet, we can plug in 11.90847%. And we need a little more room here, so like we did before, we're just going to drag that. And I'm going to format these three cells, left click to highlight, right click, format. We're going to go to percentage, and I'm going to want 5 decimal points here. And then we have to figure out the percentage of your Social Security tax and your Medicare tax. And if you have state tax, you'll have to add another line in here. So for Social Security tax, we're going to divide 119 by 1923. And we're going to get 0.061882. We're going to times that by 100, and that comes to 6.18824. And you can just use a calculator, or you can bring up a calculator on your desktop. For Medicare, the same thing, 28 divided by 1923 times 100, and we're going to get 1.45605. You can see it's not very much. It's only $28. It's 1.45%. Now we're going to have to recalculate these three cells. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to put the numbers over here because these are the numbers we're going to want to reach. And I'm going to take these out. You can see this number changed. And we're going to highlight, left click, equals gross times this percentage, and we do get 229. We're going to do the same here, equals gross times, which is the asterisk on the keyboard, your 6.18824, and this equals gross times your 1.4506. Enter. These we're going to highlight and hit delete. We don't need them anymore. It's just a way to check. Now, why did we do that? Once again, it's because if you don't make 1923 each week, then these numbers need to correspond with the percentage of these deductions. So let's just say you make 1,700 for this pay period. You can see these percentages go down. So now when you finish your week or your 2-week period, you can add up your hours if you're hourly, times it by your rate, plug that number into here, whether or not it's $2,500 or $2,200, or if you get the same paycheck every week, you're $1,923 based on a $50,000 salary. And that's your first spreadsheet. Now we're just going to clean it up a little bit, and then we're going to talk about 401ks. So by cleaning it up, we're going to fill the header here with a nice blue. We might change that a little bit later. We're just going to center it up. This is based off of 50,000. And to center this in the cell, we're going to go over here to center left and right and center top and bottom. And while we're working with the fill, we're going to take the fill out of here. So no fill. And although these numbers are important, we don't necessarily need to see them on a weekly basis. They may just be a little confusing. So we're going to go to the font drop down, and we're just going to change the color to a light gray. So they're there. I'm going to center them up. So they're there, but they don't really need to stand out and be a part of the visual. They're just kind of working in the background. You can even make them smaller if you wanted to. Now the most important part to the spreadsheet is the 401k. Now while we're talking font colors, since it is so important, I'm going to make it red. I'm going to make it bold. And I'm going to center it up. And this cell is going to be the percentage formula, much like these cells, of what your 401k deduction is going to be. So for now, I'm going to put 10%. I'm going to center that up. I'm going to make that red. And the deduction from the 401k is going to be this cell. And that will equal your gross times the percentage of your 401k contribution. Enter. So you can see 1923, 10% is 192.3. And your take home would be 1096. Now we can play with this number a little bit. Let's say you were to contribute 12%. And as you work through the program, let's say you can figure out a way to live off of $1,000. Let's go to 15%. Oh, look at that. 1,000 even. And you're contributing $288 every paycheck. Now this is running pretty long, so I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quickly. We are going to grab this cell here. We're going to go down and we're going to go right 2 additional cells. We're going to let go and we're going to border them up. We're going to put a match, the word match here, the word biweekly here, and the word annually here. Biweekly needs a little more space, so we'll give it to them. We're going to center these up, highlight, center, center. And this is going to be a percentage. So we're going to right click, format, percentage. But we don't need any decimal points. It's pretty much a flat percentage. And that percentage is going to be the match that your employer matches your contribution. So let's just say that match is 4%. Let's center that up. And we'll come down here. We'll highlight that cell. And it will equal your gross times, which is the asterisk, 4%. So that means your employer is contributing $76 every paycheck. Now this cell will be the total of your contribution plus your employer's contribution. So we're going to equal this plus this. And every 2 weeks, center, every 2 weeks you're contributing $365. And if you want to know what that is on an annual basis, and you get paid every 2 weeks, you're going to want to highlight that cell, equals this times 26, because you get 26 paychecks a year. So you will be contributing, with the help of your employer, $9,499 a year to your 401k if you contribute 15%. And here's where this Paystub spreadsheet can really help forecast. If you were to contribute 10%, you would have around $7,000 contributing a year. If you were to contribute 11%, it jumps up to $7,500. 12% jumps to $8,000. And you can also see how your take-home changes too. So we're just going to leave this for now at 10%, taking home $1,096, and you're contributing about $7,000 a year. And that wraps up this first spreadsheet. We will definitely come back to it as we're talking about 401k contributions, but that's the first spreadsheet. We've completed the Paystub spreadsheet. Okay, coming up next, step number 6, change is good. And here's where we discuss how a few small changes in your finances can make a big difference in your financial future. And we also discuss how this can all be done with just your spare change. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel and visit paystosave.com, where you can find the workbooks and ebooks that go along with this program, the customizable spreadsheets, newly released and updated content, exclusive content, limited time offers, and freebies. Again, that's at paystosave.com, where you can find everything for your financial future in one place.